Welcome back to the Professor's Lab. I'm Professor V, and this is Finals Game 2 of the League Cup that happened at Die Hard Games on November 4th, 2023. If you didn't know, Die Hard League happens every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central at Die Hard Games, featuring casual and tournament play of whatever format anyone wants, really. More info in the description. League Challenge, Thursday, November 16th at 6 p.m. Central at Die Hard Games. And check out Pokemon's event locator for more premier events at Die Hard Games, such as League Challenges, League Cups, and pre-releases. Please hit that like button right quick, subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications, say what you need to say in the comments, and all that other good free stuff. But anyways, let's get into this Game 2 Finals. Our Lost Zone player got a mulligan, drew a card for the mulligan. And it looks like they are starting things off immediately with Comfey in the active and Spiritomb on the bench. If you didn't know about Spiritomb, Spiritomb has that Fettered in Misfortune ability, basic Pokemon V in play. Both yours and your opponents have no abilities, so that shuts down Genesect V's Fusion Strike system ability to limit the amount of cards this Mew deck can draw. Radiant Greninja hits the bench, Hisuian Heavy Ball being played to take a look at the prize cards, and then you could switch the Hisuian Heavy Ball with a basic Pokemon you find there, liberating Sableye from the prizes, and that joins the hand here. Prizes will be shuffled and placed back out. And let's see what else our Lost Zone player has here. A Radiant Greninja concealed cards to discard an energy card and draw 2 more cards, finding that Battle VIP pass, the infamous item card that you can only play on your first turn. When you do, search your deck for 2 basic Pokemon and put them on your bench. Comfey and Cramorant being the targets of that Battle VIP pass here. And we love that Spiritomb, right? Now Fusion Mew does have a way around Spiritomb. We'll get there if we get there, and I'll explain things. But for now, no, the Mew player does not like to see that Spiritomb in play. Comfey in the active uses its flower selecting ability to look at the top 2 cards, send a Mirage Gate into the Lost Zone, and keep the other card. Pat to the Peak put down. Comfey manually retreats into the other Comfey. It uses second flower selecting of the turn to send a Lost Vacuum to the Lost Zone and keep that other card. With the Pat to the Peak in play, passes things over to Mew. Pat to the Peak shuts down non-rule box abilities, so we've got Pat to the Peak turning off Genesect V's Fusion Strike system as well as Spiritomb. Forest Seal Stone being attached to the active Genesect V, so that's good. Lost Vacuum being played to send a Power Tablet to the Lost Zone in order to send that Path to the Peak to the Lost Zone. Looks like the V-Star power was used for Seal Stone, Star Alchemy, in order to search the deck for a card. Guess what card it is? Let me know in the comments. Pause it and let me know in the comments, and then see if you were right. Then let me know if you were right or wrong. Let's get that interaction going. Oh, it was actually an Iono. Interesting. So Iono being played. I would have got it wrong. Both players shuffle their hands, put them to the bottom of the deck, and draw cards equal to their remaining prize cards. So both players get 6 cards in this case. Mew being found and put onto the bench with a Box of Misfortune attached to it, and nothing but a pass. No Battle VIP pass found there. I think I get why that happened, even though we could have found Battle VIP pass with the Forest Seal Stone. There was probably no Fusion Energy in hand, or no Alessa's Sparkle in hand in order to attach to the Genesect to get around the Spiritomb. So just more cards needed to be seen there in that case. So I went for the Iono to kind of disrupt the Lost Zone player's hand as well. Either way, passing things over to the Lost Zone player, looks like they used the concealed cards. Greninja discard an energy, draw 2 cards. Yep. Comfey in the active spot will use flower selecting to take a look at the top two, send Raikou V to the lost zone, keep that other card. Now we need to see some switch cards to move those Comfey around. Second Comfey comes into the active spot. It uses flower selecting to take a look at the top two and send the Comfey to the lost zone, keeping the Roxanne, I think. That's a fair trade-off as there's two Comfey in play, one more in deck. Or the prize is switch card being played to move the Cramorant into the active spot, and Cramorant will spit innocently for free 110 damage onto the opposing Genesect V, since there are 4 more cards in the Lost Zone thanks to its Lost Provisions ability. Play resumed on Mew's side. Starting things off with the Hisuian Heavy Ball. Take a look at the prize cards, and you could switch a basic Pokemon you find there with the Hisuian Heavy Ball and put it into your hand. The Hisuian Heavy Ball did not find the basic, so it will just go to the discard pile, but at least some prize card knowledge was gained. Mew VMAX evolves on the bench, and Judge being played. Supporter card. Both players shuffle their hands into their deck and then draw 4 cards each. So very good. Keeping up on the disrupting the Lost Zone players' hands. The Lost Zone decks love to build massive hand sizes to have all the options for any given scenario in the game. So disruption is fundamentally good against Lost Zone, as both of these players are going to get 4 cards from the top of the deck. Mew V being found and put onto the bench, as well as another Genesect V. It looks like a double turbo energy is attached to the Mew VMAX and passes things over. No way to get that Genesect V out of the active spot. And play will resume on the Lost Zone player side. Starting things off with the concealed cards. Discard energy, draw 2 cards. Thanks, Greninja. Course Experiment being found and played. Integral. Anyways, very important for the Lost Zone deck. Take a look at the top 5, send 2 cards to the Lost Zone, and the rest go into the hand. Integral. Let me know how to pronounce that in the comments. Or just let me know if I'm making up words. I could be doing that too. Path to the Peak comes down, shutting off those prize Pokemon abilities, and Cramorant takes the KO on the opposing Genesect V. Let's see, Mew VMAX promoted into the active spot. Fusion Strike Energy being attached to the bench, Genesect V. So that's good. Fusion Strike Energy can only be attached to Fusion Strike Pokemon. It provides every type of energy, but just one at a time. But the most important thing that it does is it prevents all effects of your opponent's Pokemon's abilities done to the Pokemon this card is attached to. So if a Genesect V has a Fusion Strike Energy attached to it, it is not affected by Spiritom's Feathered in Misfortune ability, and Fusion Strike system is online, and we can draw some cards with that Genesect V. No cards being drawn here. Instead, Mew VMAX will Technoblast, copying Genesect's V attack to take the KO on the opposing Cramorant. Play will resume on the Lost Zone player's side, promoting Comfey into the active spot. And let's see what they can do. Definitely have to find another attacker here. So going for a Nest Ball. Using the Nest Ball search to count up those energy cards in deck. What do I have access to? Can I get this Dragonite attacking? Lost Zone strategy could be to put some damage onto the big Mew VMAX and then clean up the KO with the Dragonite V. Or vice versa. But actually, Nest Ball being failed here. Greninja is not a bad attacker here, especially into the Mew VMAX deck with the strategy I told you of putting some damage and cleaning up with the Dragonite V, who's going to hit the bench with the Forest Seal Stone attached to it. Mirage Gate is online, double Mirage Gate being used here. As long as there are 7 more cards in the Lost Zone, Use Mirage Gate to search the deck for 2 different basic energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. So, Lightning and Water being found off the first Mirage Gate attached to Dragonite V. Water being found off the second Mirage Gate attached to Dragonite V, as well as a Lightning Energy. That'll be attached to the active Comfey so it can retreat. Forest Seal Stone, Star Alchemy V Star Power was used here to search the deck for a card. Pick a card, any card. You don't have to reveal it to your opponent. Maybe it's a Course Experiment. Was one played this turn? Either way, we're going to find out soon enough what our player decides the best card is for this situation. Maybe a way to... No, we don't need a switch card. It's actually Boss's Orders. Interesting. Boss's Orders being used to bring up Genesect V, the lone Genesect V on their side. So yeah, that cuts off the draw support. And Dragonite V is able to take an easy KO on Genesect. 250 damage at the small cost of putting 20 damage on each of its fellow benched Pokemon. Play resume on Mew VMAX side. Starting with the Cram-O-Matic, you discard an item card, then flip a coin. If heads, search your deck for any card. Looks like Tails was flipped there, and that was enough for our Mew player to say, no, let's pack things up and head into Game 3 of the finals. What do you guys think of this video in the commentary? Please let me know in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time for Finals Game 3 in the Professor's Lab.